Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
On The Lock Shop. Thank you very much for being here. Dusty is with you. Hustle will be joining shortly. And we got a weekend to recap. We got a poker tournament to recap. Vladdy gets his deal. Ovechkin sets the record. Take a look at some NHL standings. Brian Harman wins at Valero. It's Masters week. We got a little NHL. The Jets are in action tonight. Oilers are in action tonight. NBA playoff race in the West is insane. There's 4 teams right now at like 46 and 32, I think. March Madness final tonight. You use a boost on that. Battle of the Sexes. I'm sure Briar Tuck will be locked and loaded and ready to go for that as well. So this is going to be a really busy Monday Lock Shop, which is exciting. Obviously, huge week with Masters being upon us. Tomorrow on the Nielson Show, Pat Mayo from the Mayo Media Network is going to join us around 7:30, I think. I'll double check. Somewhere between 7:30 and 8 o'clock as well. Mark A. over in the chat says, quite the sports day, LFG. Let's see that NCAA SGP. Yeah, we'll get into all of it. Huss is going to be popping by and lots of recap. Obviously, a big game tonight for the Winnipeg Jets as well. The Oilers looking to wrap up a road trip with a 3-1 record. So that's good as well. Huss says he's got a spinning wheel. That's weird. He should not have a spinning wheel when he's trying to connect. I'll say, do it again, eh? Okay. Try again. Should work. All right. So Huss will join us. I mean, it's one of those days where you're just like, where do we start? Poker tournament last night. Somebody said this morning that Huss finished 12th. That was good. Huss is a grinder, man. I don't got time to grind. I had a great start. Then I went to trash. I unraveled and I went all in with an ace-7 of clubs. I was pretty short stacked. Had 3 calls. If I could have hit that, it would have been like 31,000. But I did not hit it. I was out. It lasted just over 2 hours. I think Cliff Harris, local cameraman, ended up winning it. So congrats to Cliffy on that front. So poker was good. That was a fun night. Alexander Ovechkin yesterday, I mean, getting the goal in classic Ovi fashion, that was great. So we got lots to recap from around the weekend. Obviously, Vladdy getting his deal late last night. There's Huss. He's good to go. Let's bring him in from Winnipeg Sports Talk. Of course, WST will be live at noon today as well. Huss, what's going on, buddy? How was your weekend?
It was good. Yeah. It was really good.
How could it not be, right?
Finished up with a fun poker tourney last night.
Wait,
Shout out
did you
to everybody that joined
12th?
us.
People said you were 12th.
I finished 12th, yeah.
12th, yeah.
I mean,
it's not bad.
I was hanging around there. I actually had a crazy triple up. I thought I was going to be done probably.
That was at our table.
Shortly after you were there.
No.
Yeah, that was the
No. At our table, you got beat at our table and knocked you down a bit. Then you tripled up after that when you moved to the other table. Oh, wow.
That was the Kings versus Jacks versus Tens. If you recall that.
Oh man.
That was a wild one. But it was a good performance by a bunch of the WSTers there in the top 10 at the final table. But definitely a whole lot of fun. So thanks to everyone that joined us. And if you missed out, keep your heads up to the socials and when we're going to be doing it again. Listen, a lot of hockey and a lot of scoreboard watching for Jet fans. I mean, I tweeted this out on Saturday, but everyone's talking about Ovi this, Ovi that, Ovi. How about Sid coming up for the peg with the hat trick, 4 points, beating Dallas in Dallas on Saturday afternoon, and then the Jets return the favor by not showing up till the third period for the game against Utah. So they took a loss yesterday. Actually banged out a golf pod on some Masters stuff with some guys in town, 18 over par, which was fun. A really cool bar actually out in St. James They had two big new virtual golf things. So anyways, we finished that up and ended up watching the rest of that Dallas, Minnesota game. And and another thing, my love of 7-Eleven. Now, again, this is not going to resonate. This is not going to resonate very much with people in Alberta because you can get beer and everything at convenience stores, right?
No.
Oh, really?
You guys can get beer at 7-Eleven?
Well, if you had asked me this up until Saturday, I would have said absolutely not. That doesn't exist in Manitoba. And then I went to the Sev on Ness after the fourth line yesterday for doing this. I don't know how, I don't know when this occurred, but there is one Sev in Winnipeg that somehow has a liquor license.
Come on.
And I kid you not. I think I did a tour of it. I took some photos. I may make a TikTok video or something about this because I'm still shocked. But yes, 2 full drink, where you go to grab Diet Pepsis or Fruitopias, whatever. 2 coolers, just beer.
Singles,
like if you go into you're not grabbing
like in Vegas on you pop in,
or even if you go to I'm sure at a lot of beer vendors you can get cases, but when you're walking out, if you want to grab a couple, call them whatever.
So you had to get one.
Couple singles. Well, actually, I didn't. I didn't. The last thing I needed at that point on Sunday was to. Oh wow, how fortuitous. Let's give her on a Sunday night, and I needed to be focused for the pool, focused for the poker game.
Yeah,
but I was just shocked. I was shocked, and this is, there's been some Sevs closing in Winnipeg, which is crazy to me, and then there's this one, which is like the beacon. It reminded me a lot of like one of those great U.S. convenience stores. I mean, the chicken that they had, some places you'll be able to just get wings.
They have the chicken skewers and stuff?
They're not messing around.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's a sign of a good 7-Eleven, yeah.
All of those things. And then, the fact that they had two coolers of beer was just...
Mitchie R says there is one in Edmonton, but I've never heard of it. I've never heard it brought up that there's a 7-Eleven in Edmonton where you can get beer at. I had no idea about this.
If you'd like, if you think of it as fine dining, you could go in, grab a couple skewers, some wedges,
pizza sub,
and a couple beers and dine in.
Yeah, I guess you could. That's a first date for you, hey? Like, hey, where do you want to go? I'm going to take you to 7-Eleven. If she sticks around, she's a keeper at that point, buddy.
Oh, listen. You know what? Guys often make those mistakes where they put on, a show early on and set levels that are not realistically attainable long term. So if you start, let's go and get something to eat. What are you thinking? Well, I could really go for some wedges. I love a chicken skewer and maybe a Blue Moon or a Coors Light. And if that works, you're good. You're good to go.
Just rip that Band-Aid off.
Go straight to the justice of the peace right afterwards and just make it happen. It's true love.
Smitty the Wilder says, yesterday I went to a Circle K in Three Hills, Alberta, and they were selling alcohol. First convenience store I've seen in Alberta selling booze. And Mitchie R says, actually, I just Googled it. There are 7 of them. Mitchie R, are you telling me there's 7 7-Elevens? Are you talking convenience stores? Or are you talking 7 7-Elevens in Edmonton that sell booze? Because I can't believe I haven't come across them. The West End doesn't have one, unless I missed it. But
I would have thought, I just assumed that was the case. Because Alberta's sort of the Wild West, right? When it comes to, everything's privatized. You've got all these liquor stores. In Manitoba, it's the exact opposite.
Everything provincially run?
Everything's provincially run. There's an archaic law where the beer vendors had to be in hotels. I guess because,
really?
They needed to have places to people to sleep it off or something. Yeah, like if you walk around Winnipeg, every beer vendor is going to be connected to a hotel. That's when you go to Wynn, they've got the big beer store there. That is all part of the... Now, I'm sure
So are there no standalone liquor stores in all of Winnipeg?
Well, the liquor stores are different.
Oh, okay.
Liquor stores, those are like the Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries.
Yeah.
But just for, cold beer, I should say.
Okay,
if
just
you're
a cold beer store,
cold, it has always been in hotels or connected to hotels. And now I think that's changed a little bit at the LC, where they certainly have beer and maybe some of it might be cold. But for the most part, if you're going to get a rack, you're going to, one of the cold beer stores. Otherwise, you can get everything there. But there's one Sev out on the west side, Ness. Shout out to them. Great operation. Lots of smiling faces in there yesterday. Now, I'm sure you did this on the show today. I mean, we've got to talk hockey. We've got a huge game here tonight in Winnipeg, Jets Blues. The national championship is tonight. Good time to remind everyone, if you haven't used it, 30% win boost. This game is a pick'em, basically. Florida minus 112, Houston minus 109. Florida's minus 1.5 at plus 101. But to me, this is I would stay away from the point spread on this one. This is money line, basically a pick'em. I don't see Duke playing in this game tonight.
Oh,
what happened,
man? Just all-time collapse. I mean, I really don't know what else to say. So they're up by 14. They had one field goal in the final 10 minutes of the basketball game. Houston's defense, I mean, they just cranked it up a notch. The inability to inbound the ball in critical moments just is unacceptable. It's unacceptable, and they could not do it. They couldn't get it in. They called a timeout. They come back. They couldn't get it in. They try to throw it up to Cooper Flagg, and it gets turned over. They hit it. It was. I mean, I threw this stat out this morning, and I tweeted it last night, but it was something like, prior to that game, teams that led in field goal percentage, free throw attempts, steals, fewer turnovers, and more rebounds were 335-0 in the history of the tournament. And Duke checked all those boxes and still lost. They just it was so now teams that lead in all those categories in a March Madness game are 335-1. So I don't want to, I thought Houston locked it down the stretch, which was insanely impressive. Proctor has that free throw, misses it. Cooper Flagg got what I thought was a pretty tic-tac foul, swings it the other way, and then, just a complete unraveling. I'm watching it, watch the entire game from start to finish. They're up 14. I'm like, okay, feeling pretty good. And then they're still up 10 with a minute and a half left. And then I didn't really start to panic until Cooper Flagg took that foul. And I was like, oh, shit, they're going to blow this thing. So, I mean, there's always the great comeback versus choke job. And you're always selling one short or blowing it up on the other side. I think this one was a solid combination of both, just because Houston's defense locked things down so well, man. I mean, they were near perfect for the final 10 minutes of that game defensively, which is not easy to do against a team that's got 4 first-round picks on it. It was a pretty impressive comeback. Doesn't ease the pain. I mean, that sucked, but still pretty impressive from Houston.
Yeah, this will be an interesting one. I guess I picked Florida at the beginning of the tourney. I may as well ride with my pick. Won't be a big play. I haven't seen a lot of it. By the way, I see KL says, hey, anyone have a cool bet? When do you get your bonuses? I used the $25 free bet, lost, but when is the $25 free bet? Oh, you mean from the UFC? Yeah, usually it's Monday or sometimes early Tuesday. I was just checking because I did the same thing. I'm not seeing mine yet, so I'd imagine it'll be later on. If you have an issue, though, fire the guys at DM. They'll make sure everything is on the up and up. They do a great job taking care of everyone if they do have any questions on the account, but I'm not seeing mine.
Well, one play on this college basketball game tonight, and I talked about it a little bit on the Nielsen show this morning. LJ Cryer over 2.5 3-pointers at plus 106. He came up big in that last game against Duke. He shoots 8 3-pointers a game, and I think during the tournament he's making 3.8 per game, and the number's 2.5, and it's plus 106. So I mean, he was a guy who wasn't afraid to fire in the second half of that game. So I do like LJ Cryer over 2.5 3-pointers at plus 106 if you're looking for a little player prop ready to go tonight as well.
Plus 106. There we go. I'm right on it. That's good. They've got some player assists, rebounds, totals.
Some good props tonight.
Have player point props on pretty much everybody. So I would dive more into that, but I'm going to be very occupied tonight at Canada Life Center at 6:30 for the Amazon game between the Jets and Blues.
That is a big one. We'll get to that too. What about Vladdy, Huss? We got to talk Vladdy. Gets his $500 million. Went down late last night. Your thoughts on the deal?
Well, I'd like to take, I can't take any credit for this. I should give a shout out. You know, Johnny Junta, the Gate 14 podcast, Jays, Psychos.
Yeah, I think I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
Funny young guy. So I had him on the show on Thursday.
You were telling us about that. Yeah.
And he had just finished doing an hour-long recording with Mark Shapiro, which was a huge coup for basically a fan podcast to get the boss.
That's massive.
I mean, so he was so excited about that. We're going into this Mets series. The thing drops, and then obviously today, you heard yesterday there was rumors and momentum that Vladdy was going to be signed, and then they get it done. Then I looked today, so Johnny had about 50 bookmarks of haters and losers, as he liked to say, that it's saying Vladdy's never re-signing with your bum-ass team, and so he's just been going nuts.
He's just cashing Twitter. Receipts right now, just
nuts on Twitter. And then he just did some picture of his made bed with like some motivational speech, some motivational line. Who's in his replies? Mark Shapiro, just with the nice. So now Shapiro and Johnny are BFFs. Vladdy's back for 14 years. I mean, look, there will be a time when we look at this contract and it'll be, like this is like, I don't know how, 38-year-old Vladdy's going to be or 39-year-old Vladdy's going to be. But I'll tell you what, for the franchise, they had to do this.
Yeah, there was no other option. You had to keep him.
And the fact that they ended up getting done at, I mean, we knew it was going to be 500. We heard it was potentially 550 or more. I don't know if there's any deferrals or whether they moved.
No, there's no deferral. The's no deferrals in this one.
So maybe that was how the Jays came back and got it done.
Yeah,
at that number.
I think that's what it was.
Regardless, after the Ohtani embarrassment, everything that happened this offseason, first of all, to get it done now and not have this as an albatross hanging over the team's season is huge. And I think just for the fan base, they needed some good news. They needed some hope that, this isn't just a major league outpost where guys are here until they can get out at the first moment. So good on them for getting it done. Congratulations to Vladdy on the big deal. Now, if he can get that bat going and help this team win some games. There wasn't a lot of hitting going on the weekend in Queens in that series against the Mets.
Vladdy's still looking for his first bomb of the year as well. No better way to celebrate $500 million than by going yard. So that would be nice to see as well. So Vladdy gets paid. They had to do it. I don't know how you could have let him walk. I mean, and it's the highest, it's the biggest. I was looking today. So the only two bigger contracts were Soto and Ohtani, and those guys were free agents and went somewhere else. So this is the most money anybody's ever given one of their own guys. So that's a dub for Vladdy, and it's a big commitment from the Blue Jays. So we'll hopefully they can continue to try to build a team around him, and hopefully he gets his back going this year.
Do you think there's any chance they re-sign Bo too? Or is this sort of Vladdy's going to be the cornerstone?
What do you think the ticket is on Bo? How much do you think Bo's going to want?
Be a lot. It'd be a lot. I mean, just in baseball terms, I mean, I can make an argument that you'd much rather pay a shortstop than a first baseman.
Yeah.
I mean, especially for long term. I don't know. I'm a Bo guy. Like, I just think he had that miserable season last year, but he seems to be looking pretty good so far this season. And if all of a sudden you knew that those two guys were, cornerstones moving forward, I think you can really start wrapping your head around this team being that competitive team that we've been hoping to see the last few years that just hasn't entirely all come together.
Can you have two like $450 million or $500 million contracts on the same team?
I don't know. Like, let me just look up the LA Dodgers now.
Well, and this is the thing. If it hasn't happened already, it's going to. I mean, with 10 years from now, there's going to be multiple teams with guys who are under $500 million contracts. So, I mean, you're the Jays. Just get there first. Keep your guys.
I mean, you have to just realize that you're in the big leagues right now. This is how much it costs to have top elite level talent. I mean, they're not doing any bake sales over at Rogers right now. I mean, they just had $11 billion to pony up for NHL rights. Can you imagine if they pled poor, like to Jays fans, and said, you know what, we just can't get the scratch together while they're doubling their NHL rights. I mean, it's all part of this is the massive Canadian sports conglomerate. They want to be able to compete with the best teams in the majors. And I'll tell you what, they made a big statement today by keeping Vladdy. And I'm interested. We just haven't heard a lot of talk about Bo Bichette. I really do wonder what the future for him is. I'm a fan, though. I would love to see it. I mean, those guys sort of came up together. It'd be pretty cool to see them, stay together and hopefully eventually win together in Toronto.
Man, I hope you guys got on the LJ Cryer over 2.5 at plus 108 because it's minus 130 now.
Yeah, it literally just moved.
Like I was just sitting here watching, I saw it move from plus 108 to minus 130. So shout out Lock Shoppers and everybody for obviously hopping on that one as quickly as you did to change the line somewhat significantly. Huss, it is Masters Week. Valero, Texas Open. Anything from Valero that you think is notable moving forward here?
I mean, not really. It was a pretty
not as far as the Masters go, right? Like it just.
I mean, just if you looked at that leaderboard, you had to go down for a while to see guys you recognized. Yeah. I mean, there was a lot. I mean, obviously Brian Harman, but it was playing tough yesterday. I mean, everyone was coming back. I was pissed off. I mean, I was in on the boosted top 20 for Berger and Bud Cauley, and Cauley came through, and just all afternoon I just kept refreshing what's going on with Berger, and he basically needed a couple birdies that just never came. But what is interesting right now, and maybe we'll do it quick because it will really dive in, obviously, with the big Masters final bets on Wednesday's show, and a good time to remind everybody. For you cool bettors out there, if you haven't already, before you make a single wager on the Masters, go into your account, click on bonuses, and then put in Can Open, CANOPEN, and click it in and just opt in. Or you can go to Pat Mayo's page or the Mayo podcast for that link. It'll take you right there. But make sure you opt in. Every $10 that you bet for the Masters or the following weekend's events will get you a raffle, an entry into the raffle to do Canadian Open, 2 days, maybe a third if you want, Blue Jays, the Mail Live show in Toronto, flights, hotels. Listen, we've talked before about how awesome some of the cool bet trips have been. This is going to be another one. Especially if you're a golf fan and you're already betting on the Masters, just opt in before you make those bets to be eligible to win. And we'll look forward to hopefully seeing a lock shopper take that down and see you in Toronto coming up in a couple months.
That would be nice to see a lock shopper get cashed in on that one. All right, so here's what we've got. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so that is the preamble.
Yeah.
The odds have reset today. And I did that show yesterday with the guys here in Winnipeg. So I was actually on it yesterday morning. And about 3 hours later, we saw the line shift up a little bit. And now there's been quite a little bit of action and line movement a little bit. Scotty Scheffler's going up. Like Scheffler at one point was in and around 4-1. And I know a lot of books have him at 4-1. You want to bet him at Coolbet. He's now up to plus 470. Rory's pretty steady, just under 7-1 at plus 675. John Rahm has come down from 17 to 15. He looked actually pretty good at Live Miami. Morikawa is also at 15. DeChambeau's at 17. Ludwig Oberg's going the other way. He's now up to 19 to 1. You've got Schauffele and Thomas. I think Schauffele was 20. He's now 24. JT's still 24. Joachim Niemann's gone down from 32 or 35. I can't remember, to 30 to 1, along with Hideki. And then, holy smokes. Okay, Shane Lowry was 40 to 1 half an hour ago. Shane Lowry's 32 to 1 right now. So there's been some people jumping on Shane Lowry. Brooks is at 32. And then a big group of players, Cantlay, Fleetwood, Vic, and Jordan Spieth, 35. And then that 40 number is just gone. Like, that's where Lowry was. Obviously, there's a lot of steam coming in on Lowry. And now I see the $25 free bet in there. So KL, check it out again. It should be there. Corey Connors now at 50. I thought he was 60 on the weekend or so. Hatton's still there. Henley's gone from 55 to 50. But you know who has gone up from 40 to 50, and I'm betting him right now before it goes down, is my guy, the chef, Minwoo Lee. We are on Minwoo. I don't want to miss that number. I have a feeling people are going to be on him. Cam Smith, Willie Zalatoris. And then our guy, Sepp Straka, Dusty.
I know, 60 to 1. I just bet him.
Sepp, I wish I got him earlier. He was 70 yesterday. But he's ticking off all the boxes, and we'll go over this with Patty later on. Just looking to see Jason Day and Patrick Reed at 75. Wyndham Clark's at 80. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to win, but as a major winner that's played really well this week, I'm surprised that number's not a little lower. And holy smokes, glad I didn't bet Tony earlier, as he was at 55 or 60. He's now gone up to 80. Say Heath, our buddy, he's at 90 to 1. And now Tom Kim's at 100. DJ's at 100. So as I said, Masters numbers have reset. I would suggest you go over it right now. If they're numbers that you don't think will be around, get them on Monday, and otherwise we'll see how the market goes over the course of the next couple of days before putting.
I just want to bet them all, Huss. I just want to bet them all. Like, you're seeing guys like Straka and like Batia who. I mean, these guys at these big numbers, you're like, oh, we never get these guys at these numbers, but it's the bloody Masters. So we'll break it all down. Wednesday's show will just be Masters around the clock.
Yeah.
So.
You know what I watched last night? Speaking of the Masters,
Happy Gilmore
finished. I finished up the poker tourney.
Yeah,
I'm still screwing around and whatever. I was flipping around on TV. And the Golf Channel was on, and it's the Augusta, the Masters, the drive, chip, and putt contest for the kids.
Okay.
It was amazing. It was so much fun. I mean, they had girls and boys. I think it's like age 7 to 9, 10 to 11, 13 to 15 sort of thing. I might be off a little bit. I think there was 4 age groups. But they're out there on the 18th hole at Augusta doing the putting competition. And a couple of the kids were holding them. They were really, really talented. I was thinking, I get Marsh and the Muzz out there driving, chipping, putting. And then that will be your ticket to Augusta, Dusty. One of your kids getting you
I do like that.
The run. No kidding.
God, I'd love to just be there. I mean, Murray McCourt, who does the golf show with us, and is on the Hangout every Monday. He's golf manages the ranch. He's been there for a long time. He's got the invite to the Masters this year. Right? He's going out to check it out. Leaves tomorrow night. He'll be out there for the Masters this year. I've had a buddy who went into the lottery, got drawn for like the Wednesday practice, essentially, or the Tuesday practice, I guess it would have been. And it was a Tuesday practice. He's like, that was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, it's just so cool.
Well,
and is weather going to factor in here? I saw there's a storm. Have you seen the rest of the week? I know it was storming today, so
it's crummy today. You know, I'll pull this up.
I haven't looked at the rest of the forecast there.
Just while I mention this, but you know, it was cool. The kids are there, and like they all have a parent with them, and they're all in the same colored shirt. I'm just it looks like the proudest moment ever for these parents. Now, I'm sure there's some crazy sports parents in there too, but for the most part, it looked really fun, really good natured. And I got thinking, like, Marsh, how old's Marsh?
He's 10.
He's 10.
Yeah.
But he's big. You get him out on the range and take advantage of that big, lanky frame and get that in, he could probably mash. And then it's just about the hands. With some practicing, some good putting and chipping. I mean, I don't rule this out, Dusty.
We hit the range a few times a couple of years ago. He's got like a little set 4 clubs or whatever that we took to the range a couple of years ago. Last year we didn't get out though. It was so damn busy with football during the summer. But He does. He likes it. Like it's funny watching a little kid pick up golf because it's not it's not natural, really. You know, like
totally.
So yeah, I mean, I'd like to get out both of them. You're right. I got to start viewing my kids as like the retirement ticket, eh? Right. I'm going to sit them down today when they get home from grades 4 and 2 and say, listen, one of you has to provide for mommy and daddy when you're older. I don't care which one it is, but one of you has to excel at something sports related. Hell, at this point, like baseball starts next week for Marshall. Go be a baseball player, cash in a $500 million ticket somewhere along the way. Like,
yeah, listen, I'll say this. That might be, if you were thinking about where you could have a great long career, maintain your brain, I would say baseball's probably right at the top.
Yeah.
Okay, Augusta weather. It's a delayed today due to bad weather right now. Tomorrow it looks like it's going to be sunny 19, Wednesday 18, Thursday 22, Friday 20. I mean, as they say, it's sun. There's a little bit of cloud on the first 3 days of the tournament. Looks like sunshine. As it doesn't seem very stormy, but as we all know, things can change. Oh wow, they actually evacuated. Yeah, they had to evacuate Augusta of fans today. I'm just looking. It fueled a spike in traffic on Augusta roads right now. So, and Vijay Singh has cited an injury and has had to pull out of the Masters tournament. I was not going to have VJ on my card.
You weren't going to have him on your card?
Not a big deal. Not a big deal.
All right. Okay, so we'll have more on the Masters. We'll dive into a little bit tomorrow for sure. And then Wednesday, Patty will join us. We'll have all of our Masters picks, always one of our favorite, if not the favorite, golf show of the year. So cannot wait for Wednesday's show. Let's go NHL Slate tonight, Huss. And then we've also got the Battle of the Sexes looming. I'm sure you'll put on your Briar Tuck hat for that later on in the show.
Wild. This is wild. And Muat just won. I don't know if people caught that. I didn't want to go right out and say bet against Canada. But if you saw, I believe it was on Saturday, the Scotland-Canada game, the line came out and we did a tweet, and I tweeted this without making a pick. Brad Jacobs was 11-1. The 1-11-1 was Muat, who was uncharacteristically bad during the like he actually lost 4 games in the round robin, which was crazy. Lost to the Czechs 8-2. I don't even remember the playoff, but he knows Brad Jacobs well. They won a really tight one, and Muat was plus 170. Jacobs was minus 217, and I get it. There was last rock to start off. The fact that this was in Canada, people were backing on it, but I mean, Muat should not be plus 170 against anybody, period. And sure enough, he won the championship. And then, later on tonight, Muat, world men's champions versus the world women's champions, Rachel Homa. So we've got lines on that. We'll get to that at the end. But we've got 5 games tonight, both the Jets and the Oilers in action. What's the latest on the Oiler big boys going into tonight's game?
Unavailable, leg banged up. They haven't skated yet because they're out west, even further out west. But I would at this point not be expecting Draisaitl. We know McDavid. I mean, McDavid's not going to play. We finally got our first look at Frederick on Saturday against the Kings.
Yep.
Only played 7 minutes, seemed to re-aggravate something. So that's not good news. Not sure when he's going to be able to go. Still no Skinner, still no Ekholm. So it's a pretty generic Oilers roster tonight. And they're still minus 147 favorites against the Ducks, which we put together a little EST parlay. I stayed away from the money line in this game. I just basically went Nuge, Bouchard, and Arvidsson to have a point, plus 350. Team that's coming off a shutout. And look, against the Kings, Darcy Kemper, none of the big boys playing, still doesn't give you an excuse to get shut out. Like, whether those guys are playing or not, you got to find a way to pot a goal or two. So I'm not overly confident tonight. They're already 2-1 on this road trip. So if they were to take this one tonight, 3-1 road trip without Connor McDavid and without Draisaitl for part of it is actually, I think, pretty encouraging. But this is the most banged up this team has been in years, Huss. Like probably 2 to 3 years, I would think.
Really?
This is the most injured that they've been. So I don't know about the Ducks tonight. And the Ducks are actually 2-1 against the Oilers so far this year. So they'll look for a split tonight if they can get the win.
Oilers are what? They're 4 back of LA right now.
Yeah. They're where they are, right? Like
6 games to go.
They do play the Kings once more.
And wow, the Oilers only have 32 regulation wins.
Yeah, it's the
Kings
lowest total
39.
of any playoff team in the West, I think.
Yeah, that is. Well, St. Louis is 31 right now.
Okay, so they're close.
But basically right there. So yeah, so they're not winning any tiebreaker. So essentially they're 5 points back. So
like we were talking about it this morning. You're playing the Kings in the first round. You're going to be starting on the road. If these guys need a little bit extra time to get healthy, then load manage them. I mean, it doesn't matter. You need to have this group healthy to go on the road and try to go through the Kings and the Golden Knights. So I'm not sure when we'll see the big boys get back, and I'm not sure how much you really want them to play down the stretch, to be honest with you.
Yeah, if any, would you want them to get into a couple games or one game?
I mean, I'd probably want to see most of the lineup together for a game, like one game. They get San Jose again, So I mean,
they're here on Sunday,
yeah,
in Winnipeg, and that's a game that I mean could be huge for the Winnipeg Jets. I mean, like the Jets have St. Louis tonight, and then the game that we've all had circled for 2 months on our calendars, Jets at Dallas. And then the final 3 games are Chicago, Edmonton, and then Anaheim on the 16th. But that Edmonton game next Sunday is a game that, I mean, if the Oilers have nothing to play for, do they roll out Draisaitl and McDavid? Certainly, I mean, when it comes to the Hart, by the way, Hart update today, the daily Hart trophy.
What is the number? I didn't look today.
So Draisaitl has come back to the pack a little bit because he's not playing. He's at -115. Hellebuck's at +110. And the McKinnon number has come down 5-1 right now. So depending on what's at stake and what's on the line, I just don't think it'll be that important for Edmonton. So I'm not sure whether we'll get Draisaitl / McKinnon, both, or McDavid, I should say. So, I mean, this could be good for Helly. I mean, the next 2 games for Hellebuck, I think, are going to be the most important ones when it comes to winning this award. If he can have a strong game tonight, all eyes are going to be on Canada Life Center tonight in this Binnington Hellebuck matchup, rematch of the Four Nations gold medal game. And then Thursday night for Winnipeg. And I mean, I got to think that it'll be tough for Draisaitl to hold on if he doesn't play.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if he doesn't play again, let's say, like they get the Ducks tonight, then the Blues are here on Wednesday, then they go down to the Sharks are here on Friday, then they come to Winnipeg, and then they're at home against the Kings the very next night. So they go Jets Kings back to back Sunday, Monday. And I mean, I just don't know if these guys have been that banged up. If you're going to want to run these guys, if they're healthy enough to go in back-to-backs, and then they wrap against the Sharks on Wednesday, which could be maybe a get-right game if they just want to get them out there for a skate. So, the back-to-back situation makes it interesting because I don't know if they're gonna, if McDavid and Draisaitl are coming off, they're just starting to get ramped back up, or you're gonna try to put them out there in back-to-back games. I don't know if that's a wise decision.
Yeah, and that's going to be a back-to-back for the Jets, too. I didn't realize. We kind of forgot about this game against the Blackhawks. Saturday night in Chicago, and then the team will travel back after the game, presumably, and then right back at it against Edmonton on Sunday with that home game right now. So, hey, we're still hoping the Jets and Oilers play more than once in about a month and a half. So this game will have some intrigue when it comes to standings, particularly in the Central Division. We kind of know where Edmonton's at right now. But as they say, those futures for the Lock Shop Bowl in the Western Conference Finals still very much alive right now. But the Jets got to hold on. And, I'm looking at the line tonight. This is I kind of thought the Jets wouldn't be quite as big of a favorite as they were, and it's actually going up. It was minus 167. I see it's minus 169 now.
No Binnington tonight, though. I wonder if that's why.
Is that right?
Joel Hofer is confirmed to start tonight, Huss.
Wow. So they want to give Hofer a shot back. He's from the Peg. Has played well against Winnipeg.
Okay.
It's a little disappointing, though. I was really hoping. I mean, to be honest, it never even occurred to me that they might not start Binnington in this game. But it does make sense. Getting a guy the start back in his hometown. But, I mean, come on. Helly versus Binnington? Like, that's sort of weak on St. Louis's part. But whoever's rolled out there, as far as the Jets go, Ehlers game time decision. He missed the game on Saturday. Man,
what's going on with him?
Big time. Wow, the game on Thursday night was just a comedy of errors. I mean, he was like a magnet to the puck. He got smoked with the slap shot in the foot. He looked like he was in a lot of pain, missed a few shifts. They didn't take the skate off. He came back out. And then later on in the game, he took another one in the same leg, like earlier up. It was all friendly fire, too.
Ouch.
I mean, it wasn't like he wasn't blocking
worse.
like opponent shots. It was just unfortunately getting in the way of our own. So he wasn't able to go on Saturday. He was out there for the morning skate today, and he did look pretty good. So they expect him to go. And actually, Jets got good news from Scott Arniel, and we'll get into this more on the show. But Gabe Vladdy, who many people were worried could be out. I mean, there was sort of an erroneous premature report earlier that said that he was out for the regular season and likely the playoffs, and that freaked everybody out. That got taken down, but I think we've all just still been thinking about that as to what the story is. Sounds like he's close to getting back on the ice, which is nice, and Neil Pionk could be able to go on Thursday. Colin Miller might not be able to go tonight, which is a bit of a blow with Pionk already out. That probably means that we're going to have a Stanley Fleury third pairing with one of those guys playing on their offside, which is not ideal. So I hope Luke Schenn, Slamberg, and then Morrissey and DeMello are ready for some heavy minutes tonight in this game against St. Louis.
Goaltenders tonight in the National Hockey League. There's 5-gamer, few games confirmed. Shesterkin, Vasilevsky, both those guys confirmed. Hellebuck and Hofer will go. Unconfirmed right now. The Ducks and the Oilers, Dostal and Calvin Pickard, unconfirmed for the Oil. They'll be on the ice here in a bit, I would think. Flames and Sharks, Dustin Wolf and Georgiev, unconfirmed. And then the Kings and the Kraken tonight, Darcy Kemper and Joy Decord, unconfirmed at this point. Huss, we usually keep the Oil and Jets off these things. That will only give us 3 other options to look at. But what are you thinking today?
Well, I tell you what, man, did the Rangers look dead yesterday? Getting shut out by the Devils. They are like, I guess they've still got hope. But
yeah, what are they, 4 back of the Habs right now?
They're 6 back now, the Habs.
Are they 6 back? Oh, I thought I looked this morning and it was 4. I didn't realize they were 6 back.
85.
Oh, that was last night when I was looking at it. Yeah.
79 for the New York Rangers. So, I mean, man, we thought this was all going to go down to the final day. It looks like both of these wild card races are pretty much over. I mean, Calgary, I'll say this. Calgary is 6 back of Minnesota, but they do have 2 games in hand. Man, they would have loved to have seen Dallas beat Minnesota yesterday. And that would have been huge for the Flames. So,
did the Flames play Minnesota at all down the stretch?
Well,
let's see. I got their schedule here. Oh, they do. Wow. So the Flames get the Sharks, the Ducks, the Wild, the Sharks, and then the Golden Knights and Kings to wrap. So that game against Minnesota is massive.
They could rattle off the next 4 games.
Yeah. I mean, and if that one is Minnesota, I mean, Sharks, Ducks, Wild, Sharks. If you want to make the playoffs, man, there's a path there for you.
Wouldn't that be something? Well, I'll tell you what. I'll take Calgary or Minnesota in the first round if the Jets can finish first. We could get to both of them. We could get to road games for either one relatively easily, which would be very nice. So listen, I'm definitely in on Calgary tonight.
Yeah.
And considering the stakes, I would even consider taking the puck line. Although San Jose, I mean, as I say, minus 208 puck line. On Calgary, we can discuss. Kraken versus the Kings. Definitely on LA in this game.
Yep.
Now, again, do we consider going puck line on this one? Plus 115. I mean, if we took both of those games to, the two favorites to win by 2, it's at plus 373. Tampa minus 154 is another one that I do like. As far as Tampa goes, what's their story? So they're 2 up on Florida.
But Florida, remember, is apparently tanking to fall to the wild card spot to take on the Maple Leafs in the first round. Do you see the theory from Bissonnette? Because they had like $48 million. Like Reinhart didn't play, Bennett didn't play. Like Biz was on TNT or whatever, being like, he's wearing this tinfoil hat, and he's like, I think they're tanking to get the Leafs in the first round. And then the Sens would bump up and play the Lightning. But they're only 2 points up on the Sens right now.
They are.
I mean, I don't know if it's tanking or if it's, I don't know. It just seems weird.
5 in a row.
Yeah.
They've lost 5 in a row, dating back to that home and home against the, now Tampa's lost 2 in a row. 3-2 loss to Buffalo. And then the 2-1 loss to the Sens. But as I say, the Rangers getting shut out yesterday, I'm completely out on them. And I do like Tampa tonight. So again, we've got 3 favorites. The Tampa number is only minus 154. So I think we can kind of handle that. What do you think about those 2 puck lines?
Well, yeah, I'm just looking at it right now with the 2 puck lines and Tampa money line. It's plus 680, which is beyond. I mean, that's a good number for us. I'm just trying to think if we just went Calgary money line instead of the puck line, that's plus 425. And Calgary doesn't score a ton of goals. You know what I mean? Like this could be a 2-1, 3-2 type of game. I like them to win, but I think if we can take it down to minus 208 and the Kings are at home, their lights out at home, you'd have to think, I feel more comfortable with that puck line than the Flames, even if it is against the shitty Sharks. But we still get a plus 425 pre-boost. So we're going to be close to 5-1.
I like it. You know what? I think that's a very prudent move because you do make a great point. The one thing Calgary doesn't do a lot of is score goals. So to lay a puck and a half on the road for a game that they just need to win. And listen, sometimes, you know what? You're just getting overtime and then figuring out a way to grind out that second point. But I do like it. I mean, so yeah, why don't we do that? Money line on Tampa and Calgary. We'll add the puck line for the Kings. We'll get that thing to plus 425. And after the Wizards over at Coolbet get their hands on it, we might be pushing 5-1 for the partner parlay today.
Jake is in the chat. He'll be on that for us. Thank you very much, Jakey boy. Huss, what about this battle of the sexes tonight? What do we do here, Briar Tuck?
So here are the odds for it. And as I said, it was minus 167 for Muat, plus 120 when it came out. It's now minus 175 and plus 125. Like, okay, I don't want to dive into an area where people can call me some sexist pig, but this is a great event. I'm sure they'll both be playing to win. And you just saw what Muat did at the World Championships and what he's done so far. He's been so good. But curling is an interesting game. Like I've often thought about this. That's why I think this is going to be such a cool event tonight, which is sold out. Homan's been so incredible. She's made every shot, but is she moving up, a level of competition in the men's game? Like, why would men's curling be at a much higher level? Well, obviously they've got, the power of, the really heavy hits. But I mean, that'll happen a few times during the game. Like, I got to think that Muat wins, but I mean, and I guess we don't see, like, there's no adjusted lines or anything.
Well, as Jake points out, it is a charity event tonight. So could be unpredictable in some fashion, right? Like, are they having fun at some point with, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, he just won the World Championships yesterday. He's in good form. Holman's team had a historic run, historic year. I don't think Moat, like, if he lost, like, I don't think this would be something that would haunt him and be this massive. It's not going to be a
30 for 30 someday, yeah.
And to be honest, it would be great for curling. I mean, like, if Holman were to win this game tonight, I think you would have so many people talking about it. I mean, the media loves stories like this, so they'll be like, it won't get mentioned much if Muat wins. If Holman somehow wins, it'll be a big story. But again, a charity event, like, I'd have to think Muat, and to be honest, my first thought was that this is still a pretty good line. But I'll tell you what, it sure would be cool if Rachel was able to get it done tonight. So,
Duck Dad over in the chat too says there are some twists to the game. It's a skins game. There are different brooms for Muat. So the ins and outs of this are, I'm not 100% aware of exactly what these twists are. But it's a little bit different, I guess.
Duck Dad, do you know where we can get the full details on this? Because that actually, I'm sure, and obviously the guys that are throwing out a number and taking bets on it will know what it is. But I mean, if there are some things to maybe make it a little more conducive. I mean, I don't know. I've watched Holman all year. She's just destroyed everybody in her way. So I'm not suggesting that, these guys are going to be pushovers, but I guess, especially when we're talking about unique rules that are sort of made to make it a fun event, maybe this is going to be a lot more even and wide open than we expected. And maybe that's going to be a reason to jump on Holman. I'm not sure. I should, I'm just going to check. I guess Sportsnet has the rights to this stuff. Doug, does anyone know if this is on TV tonight? Oh, there's another twist to the game that is going to be announced at game time.
Really?
So maybe we do take Holman. I mean, maybe there's going to be some. I'll put it this way. I wouldn't bet very much on this, but if you do want to have a little piece of it, I would say do it responsibly, because there is a lot of unknowns, it seems, right now that that it's popping up.
What's coming up at WST, Huss?
Well, we are locked in on this game tonight. Thomas Hickey, who's doing the Amazon game tonight, he's going to jump on with us. Mike McIntyre from the morning skate, Alex Ferrario in St. Louis on this insane run that the Blues have been on since the Four Nations. So we're pretty much all locked in. Obviously, we'll hit the Vladdy news and Ovi's record and everything coming out of the weekend. One last thing before we do break.
Yeah.
Cowboy twist. Moat will be blindfolded. All right. Sound that good. Oh, Jake says it's going to be on YouTube, and most likely good. Heartbreak on Friday night. 2 goals.
Oh, I know.
The goalie gets pulled, and he said he did not want to go out to get the record. Like, to me, the hat trick changes everything.
I know.
Like, if you can do it in a game that you've already got 2, I think that would have been completely fine. And anyone that would have been giving him a hard time for breaking the record with an empty netter would have been completely out to lunch. It would have been at home. I was devastated when he stayed out there afterwards, after he had to. It just seemed like we are on the verge of witnessing history. And instead, what happened? He got 1 goal in a 4-1 loss on the road on Long Island. I mean,
yeah. Well, I was pissed because he didn't get credit for 4 shots on Friday night.
That got changed too. Like, I actually almost tweeted out a thing because like I was watching the game.
I did tweet out. I was like, wait a second, how did he not get 2 shots in the final minute?
Well,
because the one went off his shoulder.
I pulled the score up. It had 4.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, look, okay, it's in. Well, stat correction or whatever. I guess they did not give credit.
The one went off his shoulder, and then the other one right off the faceoff was shot into the glove of the goalie. Like, how are those not 2 shots on goal? Like, I don't know. It was
bum ass stat counters at
those
the
idiots.
The Verizon Center.
Yeah.
That was brutal because, as I said, like not only did we think it had happened, I went and checked it, and at that moment when I looked on the score app, he had 4 shots, and then I saw your tweet. I'm like, wait a sec, what?
Yeah.
And went back and. You know how sometimes it says, "Oh, a team's got 10 shots," and oh no, it's back down to 9. Well, we got by that.
Yeah, that sucked.
But they should have let him out there, or he should have gone out there. Say. I mean,
well, it was interesting because they had iced the puck, so he couldn't get out there right away, and then Ryan Leonard scored right off the faceoff anyway.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, and then they put the goalie back in. When he got in all alone with like 4 minutes left, when he got in like partial breakaway. And he didn't get a shot off. I was just like, oh, my God. Yeah, that was tough. It would have been nice to cash that 20-1, but whatever. All right, WST's coming up with Huss. Be starting in about 3 minutes over on the Winnipeg Sports Talk channel. We have the oil stream with myself and Tommy Gazzoli sitting right here, ready to go. We'll be setting up the game tonight, recapping the weekend, talking about the first look at Frederick, and a lot more to get to there as well. That is going to do it for the Lock Shop today. Thank you very much for joining us. Best of luck tonight, and we will talk to you tomorrow.